Hello and welcome everybody. I'm here doing a quick ride session. As you can see, it's past 7 in the beautiful breezy San Antonio, Texas. I just wanted to show you what the bike's all about before I start riding. About to ride home from work, of course. So let's get to it. This is a 2007 S4RS, one of the fastest monsters made in those times of year. As you can see, I made a lot of modifications to it. First off, it has an open air box in here, which explains the whistle sound or the vacuum suck in. A lot of carbon fiber parts, as you can see there. This has the dry slipper clutch from Ducati. I recommend it. With the Rizoma clutch covers. Has the RBT rear sets on them. Now, here on the back, in case anybody was curious, this is a stock exhaust. It still has the O2 sensors connected to it, so it is mapped with the O2 sensor. It's just a pre-cut muffler, no dB killers, it's just a pre-cut from there. All-in suspension, of course, which comes standard with these bikes. Now, as you can see, I didn't really cover the vertical timing belt cover here. Kind of like it. Just gotta be careful not to put your, anything into it. However, going back here, it has the Speedy Moto clip-ons installed, bar and mirrors. Now, this has been modified as far as the instrument panels. You can see it's actually placed below where the screw usually goes to it. I'm not sure if you can see it right there. Gives it a little bit of a low profile look right here. Of course, do have to update the face plates or face gauges pretty soon. Now, over here it has the Rizoma turn signals. They're pretty bright. I love them. Carbon fiber little fenders right there. Just a little bit of tinkering. Halo lights here. Universal 7-inch headlights. We got the CRG levers over here. Pretty good. I recommend them. Now, I'm not really sure about this particular grip. I hate it. I bought this thinking it would be good from Driven, but hey, I guess it ran out pretty quick. I got the all-in steering damper right there. You got the GP modifications right here. I like to do the GP shift. That's just what I prefer. And that's it pretty much. Has the frame sliders here from Speedy Moto, front, back, and the front and center pretty much. Other than that, has the integrated tail light smoked in right here, and of course the Rizoma turn signals. It's pretty bright. It's pretty good actually. You can probably see it right there. So it's pretty dope, as you can see. All right, let's get to it. I'm going to start riding, give you a little insight on the bike, and let's go. And before I go, alright, let's go. Even in going up the hill, the bike still performs pretty good. You need that torque to get up the hill here. Now just wait for the traffic. Alrighty, time to go. Now, in my previous videos, I usually show around this bike of how it performs in freeways or high revs, but I wanted to give the gist of how it runs in the streets. For some reason, it doesn't really like to go below the 3,000 RPM. it tends to jerk just a little bit, but that's the only minor complaint I have on this bike as I ride. But it's not too bad. It's not to a point where it wants to shut off or anything like that, like newer models. I've heard on new models, if you don't tune it right, it just seems like it wants to die. Not on this one. This one just jerks just a little bit, but it keeps the idle smooth. It's pretty easy to find neutral on this bike, just in case you were wondering. It's pretty dope. Let's go. Even on these roads that are a little bumpy, I'm not sure if you know about these bikes, but they have a very stiff suspension because of the Öhlins that's installed on it. Are installed, sorry. So it's a little bumpy ride for me, but I don't mind. I like it. Now, I don't regret changing out the front headlights for the aftermarket ones. The stock ones, I really don't like how they illuminate in the nighttime. They really don't. You can't really see anything. But these Halo ones, the aftermarket, I actually like them. They're a lot brighter. Oh, in with the new, right? See how it wants to jerk just a little bit? I'm not sure if you heard it, but I'm actually going at about 25k RPMs, right at 30 miles an hour, and it seems to want to jerk just a little bit, just a little bit. It's not bad, but I don't mind. Let's make a right turn here. Make sure no one comes. Ooh, I couldn't make it in time. Oh well. That's just every time I ride there's a red light. I'm sure many of you have the same thing. A little bit more when I started getting used to this bike. It's the front rotors, the front brakes are pretty good. They seem like to be not too grabby, and that's exactly what I need on a fast performing bike, because you don't want to grab too much and then lock the front brakes. Last thing you want to do on any bike, of course. But these Öhlins calipers, man, they're pretty good. I mean, the heat dissipation, everything is just perfect for this bike. Look at that, another red light, can you believe it? Every time I see a dog, I usually just shut off the engine just a little bit because I don't want to scare them off, you know what I mean? That's just my courtesy. I do that to every dog. Anyways, another red light, about to turn green as usual. Here we go. So like I'm grabbing the front brakes only. I'm not even using the rear brakes, and not even afraid for it to lock down or to get locked up, of course. I would rather use the brakes than use my engine brake for the engine. It's a lot more cost effective. It if I use the brakes versus the engine itself. Thus, it actually stresses the chain a little bit, the belt drive chain, and the timing belt chain as well, the timing belt itself. Either that or you can use the brakes. Brakes are what, 35, 40 bucks to replace it? It's not bad. It's really comfortable for me to ride at this speed. At 40 miles an hour, right at 3K, it's not even jerking that much. And the way these are positioned, a little low, but it doesn't really feel like an actual sports bike when I ride it. It feels like I'm almost riding like a, you know, an actual monster with the high riser bars. I don't even miss it. Looks like there's traffic along the way here, a little puddle. Gotta watch out with these puddles. As a rule, every time you cross a puddle, you're supposed to go behind the car's tread if you're behind a car. That would minimize water planning, or plane, or what do you call it? Hydroplane. There you go. That's the word. Now, just I know I missed out here on my earlier on this vid. These tires are the Pirelli Angel GT2 version 2. I recommend them for sport touring. If you don't take it to the track too much, if you're more on the streets, this is all you need. You don't need to have the Diablo Corsa or any of the track affiliated tires. You just need the sport touring tires will do the job. It just takes a little bit longer to warm up, but it does its job. I can still lean as I could as any other bike. But it does really well in the rain. It does really well against hydroplaning. Some of the bumps I just got here, I do have to get up just a little bit because it's a little bumpy, at least for me. Like I said, I don't mind. As long as I can just go, you know? The only thing I wish I had really had down here, it would be the grid shifters up and down. That's the only thing I don't have, but I can still shift without you having to use the clutch too much, at least on the dry slipper clutch that I already installed on this bike. But I kind of wish I had the 48 teeth instead of the 12 teeth that I actually replaced this with, but it's really easy to replace it. You just buy the actual basket and the clutch. And it's a straightforward installation. I mean, it's really straightforward, especially on the dry clutch. You don't have to deal with a whole bunch of oil leaking around you. This one is just a straight through, taking the bolts off, putting in the right torque, putting in the right parts in the right order, and you're good. You got yourself a brand new clutch. Stresses less on the tranny, of course. Now, speaking of final drive and transmissions, don't forget to change out your cushion drives that are placed behind the rear sprocket of your bike, or this bike. Of course, I replaced it recently, and of course it helps to take the stress off of the final chain, of course, when you're shifting and going around. In case you're wondering why we have clutch drives. Most of the other bikes have clutch drives within the clutch, I guess, or inside the engine case, but this one, on most of the Ducatis, they have them, especially the single-sided swing wires, they have them at the rear sprockets. Actually behind it. Or on it, whichever you want to call it. there is one rule that I do not wish to break. It is to go too fast on any other than the freeway. If I am on a regular street, I don't like to go too fast for obvious reasons. So you want to be a safe rider, don't even think about speeding or especially racing inside or outside the freeway, such as a normal street just like this. Yeah, I like to go a little fast, but just don't be reckless, you know? Ooh, I made it. Nice. Time to go. One thing I like about these bar mirrors is that I really don't have to turn my head around to see what's behind me. I can even see what's actually on the side and behind me without actually turning my head too much. And this is kind of what you want, just to see it in your peripheral vision. To me, that's just enough. And no, these do not actually shake. As you can probably see in the camera, it doesn't really vibrate as much. I can still tell what's behind me. I can tell if it's a cop. I can tell if it's a dog with, you know, big little sombrero on it that says San Antonio. I don't know. But yeah, I can tell what's behind me with these bar and mirrors. But these are pretty good. I'm pretty sure it's the type of it. So if you even any brand will actually work, as far as if you want a bar and type mirrors that don't vibrate as much, you can probably tell what's behind you or what's coming at you from behind. I got the sunset over there, and I'm still looking for it at the same time. Alrighty, we're headed to the infamous Worst Park Parkway. Now this is recently built. Some of the parts actually are old, but it's a good getaway, a quick getaway without getting out of the city or dealing with freeway traffic. I call this the Parkway because it is the Parkway. Now you see why this is called the Parkway. Isn't it beautiful, guys? Now someone wants to raise me. But dude. Okay, you win, car, you win. Fine, just go, get in trouble, I don't care. This is exactly why I like the Öhlins front brake and the rear brake, because it still performs and outperforms no matter how fast I go. I love it. Damn, that car got me wired up. I hate it. Don't even think about it. Oh, you thought about it. This is why I don't like to go too fast on access roads either. Cars pops out of nowhere and thinks that it's invisible or visible to others. I'm like, no, dude, I can see you coming. Alrighty, guys. I hope this is very informative and fun, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, guys. Later.
12 seconds later.